We weren't supposed to see it. The mission briefing made it clear. Grid 97 was marked as wilderness. No roads, no settlements, nothing but ridge lines and forest. The digital overlay on our tough book showed it in blank gray, same as the rest of the Appalachian sprawl. That's why it didn't make sense when we crested the ridge that night and saw lights in the valley. At first, I thought it was a trick of the fog. Appalachia is full of that kind of crap. Moonlight bouncing off low mist, reflections twisting into something they're not. But these weren't tricks. They were house lights. A whole string of them glowing pale yellow, tucked in neat rows along what looked like a main street. Base never mentioned a settlement here, Daniels muttered beside me, lowering his NVGs. I checked my own. No power grids registered, nothing. Yet the lights burned steady as any small town street. We hunkered low behind the rocks. 5 of us in total. Me, Daniels, Ruiz, Torres, and Sergeant Jackson. Jackson didn't say anything for a long minute. Just stared down into that valley with the kind of tight jaw I'd seen on him in firefights. Finally, he keyed his mic. Echo 21 to talk. We've got visual on a populated area. Grid 97. Confirm. Static hiss back, then a clipped reply. Negative Echo 21, that sector is clear. Repeat, no civilian presence authorized in 1970. Jackson gave a humorless laugh under his breath. Tell that to the damn town I'm looking at. We set up Overwatch. The rules of recon were drilled into us. Eyes on, minimal movement, report everything. But the longer I watched, the more the hairs rose on the back of my neck because the place looked alive but wrong. A gas station sat on the corner, lights humming under a canopy. A diner with chrome trim glinted against the valley fog. Even a small church with a steeple cross faintly lit. But the streets were empty. No cars moving, no people walking, not a single shape behind the windows. It was like the town was waiting for something. Ruiz finally broke. Looks like a damn movie set. No one answered. Around 200 the fog deepened. Thick bands crawling along the streets, and then faint at first we heard it. Music not through radios, not on any frequency, just drifting up the valley like it was played from a loudspeaker. Tiny, scratchy, like a recording left out too long. It was a child's voice singing something old. The kind of tune you'd hear on a record your grandparents forgot to throw away. Jackson's hand went up, fist closed. We froze. The song cut short like a needle lifted off vinyl. Silence pressed against us hard. Then lights started shutting off one by one until only the church glowed. None of us breathed. I could hear Torres whispering a prayer under his breath. Daniels kept blinking like he was trying to clear an image burn from his optics. My own chest tightened because every part of me knew what the briefing had said. No towns here, no settlements, no civilian grid. Yet the place sat there in front of us, church lit like a beacon, pulling our eyes against our will. Jackson finally said the words none of us want to hear. We're going down there. And just like that, the air felt heavier, like the valley itself leaned closer. We checked weapons, scanned radios again, and prepared to move. I tried not to look at the church, but my gaze kept sliding back. The cross at the top seemed sharper, taller, like it wasn't just reflecting light, but giving it off. That's when I realized my throat was dry as sandpaper. We hadn't moved, hadn't spoken, but it felt like hours had drained from us. My watch still reads 0217. Time frozen, almost mocking. I don't scare easy. None of us did. But something in that valley, in that town that shouldn't exist, felt wrong in a way combat never had. We started down the ridge. The fog opened like it was waiting for us. And the only thought in my head was simple and sickening. We weren't supposed to see it. And if we did, maybe we weren't supposed to come back. The descent into that valley was quiet. Too quiet for Appalachia. Usually, you'd hear crickets or owls or the low rush of water in a creek. That night, it was nothing but our boots crunching the slope and the faint hiss of fog sliding through the trees. Jackson took point, rifle ready, scanning ahead with practice sweeps. I followed close behind, checking sectors and glancing at my handheld GPS every few steps. The screen insisted we were walking into blank terrain. No roads, no power, no structures, just elevation lines and empty grid squares. Yet 50 meters ahead, a paved road gleamed wet under the fog like it had just rained. Ruiz muttered, "I hate this place already." Daniels chuckled low, trying to mask his nerves. "Welcome to beautiful small-town America. Population 0, no one laughed." We reached the road. Double yellow lines cut down the center, crisp and fresh, not faded like an abandoned highway should be. On either side street lights, tall and narrow, every bulb glowing faint amber their power source. Nothing we could see. No poles, no cables, just lights humming. "Steady." Jackson gave hand signals and we broke into formation. Tourist on rear security. Ruiz checking storefronts as we moved. Every door was shut, every window dark, but it wasn't decay. No broken glass, no graffiti, no boards, just unused. Like the people who lived here had stepped out for groceries years ago and never came back. Echo 21 to talk.